Hi there and Happy New Year. So, I wanted to come back and let you guys know how my vegan diet is going. I've been on a vegan diet since November 24th. I stopped short of calling myself vegan because I'm not following it strictly. I think my goal is going to be to remain somewhere between 85 to 95% plant-based in terms of my diet. So in a previous video, I said that I would be taking the holidays off to not follow a diet at all, just like to make things easier, I guess. Like I find that if I don't overly restrict myself and people in general, like if you want to accomplish a drastic goal, it's maybe better to not overly restrict yourself, especially just starting out, but to make it more manageable. For me, honestly, it hasn't been a huge struggle to remain plant-based. Although I did take that break over the holiday season, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. So, where shall I start? There's not really much to tell. Long story short, the holiday season was it revealed some things to me and confirmed kind of what I thought about my dietary triggers that were causing some things like weight gain and fluid retention and inflammation. So, I've also said in a previous video that probably most of my weight gain has been due to inflammation and inflammation causing fluid. The reason I know that is because it would happen so quickly, like overnight, my weight would just go up depending on what I did, especially if like last year and the year before, I was very, very active. I did some pretty not extreme sports, but like I was doing aerial hoop and I was doing tennis and I would go pretty hard on the tennis court. And aerial hoop is like the stuff they do in Cirque du Soleil. So yeah, swinging from hoops, that is pretty rough on your muscles. So my shoulder muscles were like kind of unevenly developed and just like had a bunch of like muscle knots and spasms, and it got to the point where I would gain like a few pounds after my aerial hoop class. So, or like for as one example, I actually went for a massage directly after class, and my back was like stiff like wood. It took a while for the massage therapist to be able to like get through the top layer of muscle just because everything was just so inflamed and tight. So anyway, I ended up stopping the aerial hoop for now, and I also stopped tennis. And at the end of the year, just like a lot had happened last year, and so I feel like I'm retelling the story over again, but like not everybody sees every video. So I ended up doing a fast, and after the fast, I wanted to end it correctly in the sense that when you're done fasting from like if you completely fast from solid foods, or like I didn't do a complete fast from solid foods, but I would have like one thing a day, like vegetables or like a fruit or some nuts for protein or oatmeal, but just like one small serving a day, just if I felt like I needed it. Some days I didn't have anything at all other than lemon water. So I did that, and I wanted to end the fast correctly and not just like start eating hamburgers or whatever. And so that led me to go, well, really, you're supposed to start with soups. So I didn't do it entirely correctly, but I went to plants, just like a plant-based diet, and nothing fancy, just like vegetables. I probably started with fruit, and then I went to fruits and salad, really just like salads. I wasn't eating a ton of fruit at first, I don't think. Anyway, so I felt like I could go plant-based vegan, and I did that for a couple weeks or whatever, and maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. I did it, no, because I don't know. I have to look back at the time. Let's say 2 weeks. So this started, like the eating plant-based started on November 24th. Or no, the start of the day after Thanksgiving. So For about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, I did raw plant-based, and then I had a couple cooked meals, which I'll do videos on, maybe. I don't know if they're that interesting anymore, but we'll see. So I had 2 meals that I cooked just because I had something, like I had sweet potatoes and I don't like to eat those raw. And then I actually made a tofu dish and decided at the last minute to cook the tofu. And so then I remembered that I visited a Chinese herbalist who told, really 2 Chinese herbalists, who told me that it's better for me to eat cooked foods instead of cold things. And so I decided I would stay with a vegan diet, but start cooking my foods, especially during winter. So that led up to the holidays, and over the holidays, I wasn't eating huge meals, but I wasn't restricting anything. So I had some dairy. I did make the decision to add dairy to my matcha tea just because I like it that way, and I'm not doing that much dairy, and dairy honestly has never really bothered me as far as I know. So I started doing that, and then I just had like junk food. I had chips. That was kind of a vice of mine before. So I had some chips, and at one point, I had pastries, and that was about it. Like, other than that, I don't think I veered too far off. I had meat for the first time on New Year's Day. Yeah, the day after New Year's Eve. And that's because my friend and I went out. I didn't do anything as far as I can remember. Let me think. I didn't do anything that was non-vegan on New Year's Eve even, but I did have a bunch of alcohol because my friend and I went out. And the next day, like I don't even want to go into it, but we were feeling the effects of the night before. And so my friend wanted to go to like a sit down. I don't even want to tell you what restaurant it was, but we went for breakfast somewhere and had just like, like traditional breakfast food that was not clean. Not clean as in, not sanitary wise, but as far as clean eating wise. So like I had 1 biscuit, I had bacon, I had grits, and what else did I have? I wasn't going to do grains, so let me get to that. Oh, eggs. I had scrambled eggs. So that was what I stuck to. And I didn't do pancakes or anything. The biscuit, I actually had 2 biscuits that came with the order. I gave my friend the other biscuit just because I wanted a taste of biscuit because it was a holiday and I knew that I was making an exception. So over the holidays, I discovered that I think grains are a huge trigger of my inflammation. And I don't even think it's just a gluten thing, but grains in general. Like, I notice that they don't digest as easily. Not that I have indigestion, but just in terms of like, if you really dissect your diet and eliminate things and add them back in, you can get a really good feel for how you digest different things, like how quickly and easily they move through your system and all that. And I noticed that grains like really weigh my system down and they take longer to digest. And I think they add weight to me. And part of the weight gain is because they're so bulky in my system, but also I think they trigger inflammation. So yeah, basically long story short, I gained 5 pounds, 3 to 5 pounds, let's say, just between New Year's Eve and, when did I notice? No, so between New Year's Eve and Monday. New Year's Eve was Saturday. From Saturday to Monday, I gained 3 to 5 pounds just based on eating grains, drinking all that alcohol, and that's all I really did that was like really out of the norm. And so after, let's say, we had lunch at like 2 p.m. on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. So I'll tell you what I did. Yesterday, I went to the gym. I did a 40-minute workout. I limited my eating to basically plant-based proteins. And I didn't have much of an appetite, so that kind of helps. But like, one change that I'm noticing with plant-based eating is that I don't have a huge appetite. So anyway, I did eat when I felt like eating, and it was mostly like plant-based proteins. I went to the gym last night, because it's Tuesday, and I deliberately sat in the sauna. Now, let me caution you, I've built up a tolerance to the dry sauna. I love doing the sauna, even though I don't like hot weather. Maybe that's what people are talking about when they say dry heat is different than wet heat. I stayed in there, I don't even know how long, maybe like half an hour, maybe a little bit longer. I took a break and cooled down and went back in there. And let me tell you, oh, and in addition to that, I drank water, just like water, like crazy the whole night. Overnight, I was waking up and like thirsty, and of course, like going to the bathroom when you drink a ton of water, that happens. But like, I knew that by the amount that I was like going to the bathroom to get the water out, that I was losing the fluid that had built up due to whatever inflammation the foods I had eaten had caused. And so I woke up today and it lost all 5 of those pounds. Let's just say I gained a whole 5 pounds in inflammation weight. I'm calling it like fluid weight. All of it was gone. Now, so like below the neck, I felt fine, I think. But like I had a bad headache this morning that felt kind of like a hangover. I didn't have any alcohol yesterday, so it wasn't a hangover. But I think it was the toxins working their way out of my system. I was congested, I had a headache, and like, I don't know, I had just like sinus pressure, I guess you could say. That actually faded as the day went on, and I feel good now. So, yeah, that's just kind of a testament to how food can affect your weight in ways that I'll personally say I did not expect, just like the amount of fluid that I could gain just based on like, I don't know, like I had experienced it with like doing the hard workouts, but with food, how food can be a trigger, and you just, yeah. Anyway, so needless to say, that was a lesson. I will definitely be sticking to my clean eating, my plant-based eating, 85 to 90, probably more like 95% to be honest. And it just gave me more motivation. So that was a good thing that came out of all of this. And it was exciting, and I would say that it was worth it. Not because like I didn't even really enjoy the foods that much. Like, I enjoyed them for what they were, but like I don't know that I was really feeling deprived before. And so it was just like, oh, okay, well, I said I would take a break. Let me take this break and, have some junk food or whatever. And then, just knowing that I was going to go back to clean eating right after. So today I had a salad. It was kind of a minimal salad. So my power greens that I like to buy, I don't know, like after all those romaine lettuce recalls, I don't do romaine lettuce a ton, but I had romaine lettuce from that brand. And what did I add to that? I had some avocados that were going bad. Let's talk about that in just a second. Like how my habits with the produce came back. Like all my bad habits came back over the past week, the holiday week. Yeah. So anyway, today I had my salad with romaine, some avocados that I had that were about to go bad, and just some cherry tomatoes or grape tomato. I mixed them up. They're grape tomatoes, I'm pretty sure, and nutritional yeast on top. And just like trying to stay on top of my water. So I'm not doing terrible with the water today. My lips are super dry. I think just because like my body is processing the water so quickly to flush out the toxins basically, which I'm okay with. Because it means that I probably lost even more weight today, and I'm gonna be the weight that I was at before Christmas. Like in all, I gained maybe 7 pounds, like leading up to Christmas, and then after Christmas and New Year's Eve and all that stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that is pretty much how that's been going. That's my update. Let's talk about my habits. So one good habit that I've developed, one bad habit that I've kicked, depending on how you want to look at it, is buying a bunch of stuff and just letting it go bad. So while I was back on the processed foods, I had some cilantro that went bad. My avocados, I had 4 avocados I needed to use, and 2 of them went completely bad. 2 of them were about to go. Probably an onion went bad. Like, yeah. like the bad habits just crept back in, and that's another motivation to continue to eat clean, because I absolutely don't like the idea of just like having perfectly good and perfectly natural food that's unprocessed and letting it go bad. Like, I don't like to waste food. I don't like to waste good food. So I'm not on the processed food. I definitely eat my natural foods and I use them. I use the produce I buy, and I don't have just like vegetables and some fruits even, because I really, really like fruit. It's like rotting. So, yeah, that was another kind of like mindfulness type of thing, just being mindful of my food waste and yeah, not letting things go bad anymore. So that's pretty much it. There's a dress that I want to wear, and I've had it for like 2 years now. And I tried it on last New Year's Eve, and I tried it on this New Year's Eve. Last year, it didn't fit at all whatsoever. This year, the body actually fits, but my arms are still like too wide. My shoulders and all that stuff, like from doing aerial hoop. And also, still, like, I think there's a lot of fluid, because, like, when you damage your muscles, you get fluid trapped in there. Yeah, like I gotta do like body rolling. I'm gonna start using a wood roller. I actually have one, but there's one I really want called the Fascinator that a personal trainer I worked with introduced me to. So I'm gonna get that and just like do wood therapy to like work out the fluid and any type of like metabolic like muscle waste, and to get my arms even trimmer, because they have like come down quite a bit since I haven't been doing tennis and aerial hoop. And presumably that dress should fit. So yeah, that was exciting. The fact that the body actually fits, but like the arms just like still are slightly too big to fit that dress. I have like a couple other dresses. Like I have this leather dress that was like way too small when I bought it, but I plan to get into that. So anyway, yeah, that's it for this video. Happy New Year, and yeah, take care and be well. Bye now.